and welcome to another episode of Art Speak, the series in which I share the message and meaning behind the art that I create. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about my bear painting, Ursa. This painting was created in April of 2018. It was painted in Rockland, Maine at the Art Loft, where I was the artist in residence for a new program that they had just launched. And this painting came from a drawing of a card. I was sort of asking about what was going on for me at that time, because we had an opening the gallery was full of my artwork. It was the first time all of my art had been shown. And I was going to speak at the opening, and I love speaking in front of people and sharing my story, but I was very nervous and I had insomnia and just a lot of, stress really about it. And one day I decided that I would pull a card and see if that gave me any more insight. And the card that came up was the bear. And the message that really resonated with me about that card, or about the bear, was a time for spiritual awakening. So it was really saying that I was being called to step out of the comfort of where I had been in my own little cave and come out and share more and step onto this spiritual path. And I think the most interesting thing is flash forward to just last week, and I did a card reading with that same deck, and I just did 3 cards, and I was focusing on understanding sort of the path of my development, what's been going on since that time. And the card that I pulled for what was happening then in April of 2018 was again the bear. So it kind of gave me chills, and I think honestly until this very moment when I made this video, I didn't even recall that that was the card that I had pulled back then when I asked what was going on with me. And if we look at my life as a whole and what was going on, I was a year into the rediscovery of myself as an artist, and the passion about sharing creativity as a tool for connecting to our inner wisdom and our guidance and discovering our soul path. And I was really still approaching my life and my creation of this new business from my old paradigm, from my old way of looking at work and business and all that kind of stuff. And it was very forced, it was very masculine, and it was even though it was a spiritual path, it was my soul path, I was approaching it with a lot of left brain stuff, a lot of, not that you don't need that, right? Some judgment and analysis and organization, but there was definitely a lot of pushing through things and trying to force things to happen as opposed to receiving and being open to a more divine guidance, a more soul level of guidance. There was still a lack of trust. And I am sure that that is exactly why my health issues arose at that time, to call me back and to recenter me to this, to go, oh, okay, this is a soul path process. This is not, I figured out my soul path business and now gotta hammer it out. This is an ongoing process of listening within, surrendering to what is, because boy, when you find out you have a health issue, you either resist it, which leads to, a lot of stress and emotional upset, and really stops you from being able to see a way forward because you're resisting, or you surrender to it. And there are so many beautiful things written and taught about surrender, including Eckhart Tolle speaks about this, and also very eloquently. And Dr. Joe Dispenza in his book, What is this book called? Something about, well, I will post it. I'll remember. I'll look it up by the time I edit this video. So Joe Dispenza's book also is really beautiful. He has a statement of surrender statement, which I've used a lot and have found really helpful in this path, in this process. So, as always, I encourage you to explore what the symbolism of the bear means for you in your life. Grab your journal and sit down and write nonstop, stream of consciousness, everything that comes to mind when you consider the bear. Every memory, every association, everything. Don't hold back. Don't stop to correct spelling. Don't worry about your punctuation. Just write and write and write. And I'd love to know in the comments or on our Facebook group, the Soul Path Network, what does the bear mean for you?